So the game starts with e4, e5, white attacks, black defends, white attacks again, black attacks bishop, bishop moves to a4 and now white plays d6 to protect this pawn. And now here white plays d4. The idea is that since black's knight is currently pinned to the black's king, he wants to move his pawn forward to the d5 square in order to attack the pinned knight over here. But before white could fulfill his dream, black counterattacks with b5. The bishop moves and now black here starts laying the trap with the move knight takes pawn. Knight takes knight, pawn takes knight, and until here everything is fine in the game. Both the players are doing good, but this pawn is hanging over here and it's free for white to be captured. So should white capture this pawn? Well, if he does, then congratulations, he has fallen into your trap, because now you can trap white's bishop with the move c5, first attacking the queen and also threatening to play c4 in the next move in order to trap the bishop. White doesn't want to lose a piece right in the opening of the game, so he will try his best with the move queen to d5, not only creating a checkmate threat on the f7 square but also attacking the undefended rook on the a8 square. But black can simply defend both of these points with the move bishop to e6, counter-attacking the queen as well as providing defense to this rook in the corner with his queen. The queen can't go back, otherwise the bishop will get trapped. So white will play queen c6 check. And now don't make the mistake of blocking this check with your queen, otherwise you will lose your rook. So the best move is to block with your bishop and counter-attack white's queen. White's queen will once again go back to the d5 square, creating a checkmate threat once again of the f7 square. But now you don't need to get your bishop back over here, because now you can simply play c4 and trap the opponent's bishop. Since the bishop is dying anyway, so he will capture the pawn, you will capture back the bishop, and now the queen will capture the pawn. And here white has lost a piece and black is up in material by 1 point. Here is the fifth crushing trap. d4, d5, c4. White is playing the queen's gambit and you will play a counter gambit with e5. Pawn takes pawn and now you will push your pawn forward to d4, making it impossible for this white knight to develop on this square and take the center squares. So therefore white doesn't like this move, so most likely he will play e3. But that's not a very nice move, because now you can play bishop b4 check. If white blocks the check with his bishop, then you can lay a cute little trap with the move pawn takes pawn, attacking the weak f2 pawn as well as this bishop over here and letting your bishop die for free. If white fails to calculate here correctly and ends up capturing your free bishop, then he's gone, because after this bishop moved from here, it lets you attack the opponent's queen on the d file, and the king is the only defender of this queen. So taking advantage of that fact, you can now play the crushing pawn takes pawn check. If king takes pawn, then the queen is gone. So therefore white will play king to e2, but now you will capture the knight and promote it into a knight and check again. Yes, we are going to promote it into a knight. Why not a queen? Well, if you promote it into a queen, then white will play queen captures queen check, king captures queen, and now rook captures queen, and you have gained nothing in this position. Therefore, in order to keep our attack going, it's important for us to keep checking the white king. That is why we are going to promote it into a knight. If rook captures knight, then you can skew white's pieces with bishop g4 check. It's a double attack on white's queen. After the king moves, the queen is gone. So therefore, white here might play king to e1. In that case, you can bring your queen out with the move queen h4 check, attacking white's king one more time. If he blocks the check with g3, then queen e4 check, forking white's pieces. King moves to f2 and the rook is gone. And if here, white plays king to d2, then you don't need to focus on this knight because it cannot be saved anyway. So therefore, you can plan a counter attack with knight to c6, attacking white's bishop. And here black has a completely winning position with the exposed vulnerable white's king. Here is the last trap to punish your opponent. The game starts with d4, d5, c4. White is playing the queen's gambit and you will simply decline the gambit with e6. White puts more pressure on the pawn with knight to c3 and you will add more defense to this with the move knight to f6. Now he will pin your knight with his bishop. So he'll play bishop to g5, trying to undermine the defense of this pawn. But here you will play a sneaky move knight b to d7, trying to defend this knight. And what you're telling your opponent is that you have accidentally played this move and has completely forgotten to take care of this d5 pawn over here. So he will happily capture this pawn and you will capture back with your pawn. Until here the game is going fine. Both the players are doing good. But if he makes the mistake of capturing this free pawn on d5, thinking that your knight is pinned and cannot capture this, then he is wrong, because now you will shock your opponent with the move knight takes knight, allowing your opponent to capture your queen. Now what should he do? He has already lost a knight, so he will most likely capture your queen, but it's not gonna benefit him in any way because you're gonna launch a deadly attack white's king with the move bishop b4 check. King is kind of stuck over here. He cannot move, so the only piece that can block this check is his beloved queen. And now you will simply capture his sweetheart with a check. King captures bishop, and now you have benefited 2 points of material advantage in this trap. So